is Marshall, and thank you for watching. And for those who are new, welcome to The Process.
Old.
And yeah, welcome back to
Real
The Process.
old. All that gray y'all got in y'all hair.
And this is my lovely husband, Vito.
What's up?
We're back.
Finally, The Process life is come back to Florida. Rock used to say that.
All right, you guys, we have been
Yeah, I see that dimmer.
gone
Like
a long
time. Yeah.
And we're back. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Staying focused, getting back on track. Things have been going on where you've been trying to do it yourself. Nothing's working out.
Nope.
And then it's like something that hits you out of nowhere. Butterpup, stop. And now we got to get back on track. So, if you're ready to see
or hear
or
be dumbfounded or be shocked
about staying focused and getting back on track.
Yes. We don't came up out of Egypt.
Alright, you guys. It's amazing how when you start on track and you're starting good, it's almost like for those who used to run track like me, back in the day,
Track
back in the day,
track style.
you start off full force.
Yes.
You're energized, you're ready, you're healthy, you have prepared for your event. You know exactly what you need to do, and you're out of the blocks, and it's over. No one can stop you. It is over. So
That's what you were talking about.
what happens when you get around the corner and they call it the monkey on your back and you start to slow down? You started speeding full force, giving it all you got, and all of a sudden you look to the side of you and you see your component. You look on the other side of you and you see them passing you. You're getting discouraged. You're starting to slow down. You're trying to even get in their lane because you're trying to follow where they're going because it looks like they're getting somewhere faster than you. But come to find out, you're in the wrong lane. You've gotten out of your lane. You have lost focus. When do you start to realize you got to get back in your lane and not look to the left or to the right of you, but to keep straight? Whenever you start off fast, whenever you start off, in a position where you feel like it's you, it doesn't last. If you feel like it's you that's doing the work, it's the flesh. It's not spirit. Because it's not about feeling. It's not about what you think you should be doing. It's all about what He tells you to do. When God tells you to do something, it's not about the speed. This is not a sprint. I love sprinting. This is not something where you get out the blocks and you end on a 100-yard dash. This is life. It takes a process. Process life. It gets frustrating, especially when you see the other person getting to their destination before you. Or you start questioning your relationship with God because of what someone else is doing and how successful it seems to you that they're doing it better than you. Have you ever been in a situation where it's as if you start questioning the will of God for your life because you're comparing it to somebody else's life? You don't know their process. You don't even know their relationship with God. All you know is what you see. But you may not see the struggle. You may not have seen where they started. You may not have seen the process it took them to do what they need to do. Case in point. I remember, and I've already shared this, but for those who missed it, when God gave me the vision of going into real estate, I really thought real estate was going to be my business. And I started going full force. I started marketing and doing everything. And I've seen other people in real estate doing exactly what I felt I was supposed to be doing it. But they was on a higher level. So I wanted to get to that level. I wanted to get to that place where I knew, dang, they bringing in sales like that. I want that to be me. And I noticed, and I was focusing on those people, and I was trying to compare what they were doing to what I should be doing. So I started working harder. I started focusing on what they were doing, and I would start, taking the courses they were taking. I was starting following people in social media who they were following. I was trying to mimic everything they were doing because I wanted. I'm going ahead and say I wanted the same thing.
Right.
And I realized it wasn't working for me like it was working for them. And I had to ask myself why. When I asked myself why, I got no answers. Because my why was maybe I'm not doing it right. Maybe I'm not doing it enough. Maybe I'm not as passionate. And maybe God's hand isn't on me. That was me asking me that why.
Yeah, you sound like me 2 weeks ago when I was back.
But when I start asking the one that created me for an assignment on earth why, the answer was totally different. His why was, you've lost focus. His why was, you're doing what you want to do and not what I've told you to do. And it hit me like a ton of bricks. Like, God, what are you talking about? He was like, you're looking at everybody else, but you're not looking at me. You're looking at what they're doing, but you're not looking at what I've told you to do. A lot of times God has told you to do something and you've gotten off path. You've lost that focus because God showed you one thing and you took that one thing and thought it was something totally different. God said no. He told me real estate, yes. Your business, no. Real estate is not your business. What I've told you to do, and for those who don't know, he told me to design journals back in 2017, and I stopped doing that because I was focusing on what I thought my business was in real estate. I lost focus. I got off the wagon. I got off the track, and nothing was happening for me. Therefore, no one was being blessed in my life, in my circle. Because when you obey God, everybody's blessed around you. And when you don't, everyone's miserable around you. They may not know, but they're not getting blessed. Yeah. They're not being inspired. Yeah. They're not being motivated. They may want to be around you, and they may not even know why. That's because you're out of your lane. You've gotten in somebody else's lane, and you stop listening to the voice of God telling you what you should do. And what we should do doesn't make sense. Everybody else's assignment makes sense to you. Yeah. But guess what? That person that you're watching, it doesn't make sense to them. Mm-hmm. But it seems like when it comes to us, God, that don't make sense. Journals? What? Journals, real estate. Journals, real estate. In the mind of Marshall, I'm thinking real estate make a lot of money. Journals? Really? But it's not about the money. It was about imparting into people that lasts forever. Money come and go. But what you impart from the will of God and from the Spirit of God lasts forever when money has vanished. That's why we can't have the love of it. That's the root of all evil. We can have it. That's totally different. We can have it, but we can't put that above everything that God has told us to do. The money is a byproduct of what He has told us to do, and that is to be a blessing to other people in the assignment He has told you to do. Next.
Well, my story is the same. Getting off focus and getting back on focus. And how easy it is to get off focus. You forget your assignment. You forget what you're required to do. You forget your responsibility. You forget what the sole purpose of what you're doing, what it's really for. And the ultimate goal is for God to get the glory. God's glory is not easy to obtain.
You can say that again.
And it is not easy to sustain. Because we are in the flesh, and a lot of times that's basically what we do. Why? Because we was born in it. I too myself have gotten off focus. I've started focusing more on the money aspect of me doing the truck driving and trucking owner operating stuff. I started focusing on what other drivers were getting and I wasn't getting. And generally it happened when I started to see how much money I made. When I started seeing the money that I had made and the money that I was making, then that alone itself, and then I stopped taking care of God's business as far as doing the videos and pouring into people. I mean, yeah, at times, I would still talk to, people on the, brothers on the phone or something like that. I would encourage and all of that. But the foundation before that even happened was basically the process life. Me and my wife had a great talk this morning at breakfast. Wonderful talk, shared some things, and was honest, open, and it was nothing but it was a joy. It was just a joy to be able to share where I was spiritually and mentally and what I was thinking, and for her to say, for me to say I need to get back focused, because I was more focusing on what I didn't have and what I started to accumulate based on, because everything for me to accumulate the things of what I had obtained was based on the foundation of me focusing on my assignment and focusing on what I was supposed to be doing, that God would get the glory out of. And once I had started that, I started to lose focus. I started to veer off. I started to focus more on other things, materialistic things more than anything, finances, money. And then if I wasn't getting that, I'm trying to figure out what can I do in order to continue to get that. And forgot all about it, that it's not me who is the provider, but it is God who is the provider. And it is God who is the one that opens the door, and not me try to try to open up the door. I got myself into that situation. And it's just amazing. You asked the question, I think my wife just said, how do you get to that point where you start recognizing that you are focused? Well, generally, what happens is that it's nothing working.
Nothing working for you.
Nothing, you're not being successful anymore. It's like the brook has dried up, but really the brook hadn't dried up. You just left where the brook was.
We're in the wrong field.
Right. The brook is still there, and the brook still has water in it, but you don't left that brook because you saw somebody else who was being successful from another type of brook.
We're in the wrong well.
Yeah, and you leave your brook because their brook is a little bit bigger, but yours is still more sustainable because it's what God has blessed you with. But you want to go over there and try to drink from their brook, and you don't even understand that their brook has been ordained and purposed for them to drink from, and not from you to go over there and borrow from them or drink out of their brook. That's where I got off focus from. I started seeing what other drivers were doing. I started seeing what other drivers were getting and I wasn't getting. And I would start comparing myself with God. Well, what is going on with me? Why is it that you're not touching her heart to give to me? Why is it that you're giving to them and you're touching her heart to give it to them, and she just giving to them, but she ain't giving nothing to me? And I'm sitting up there watching and looking, and these jokers getting in their truck and moving, and I'm sitting there looking in my truck. Frustrated, mad, discouraged, like, what's going on here? Why is this and that? I start picking out everything. I start blaming everything. Well, evidently they doing this, and evidently, I start searching for everything I can think of. But wasn't really paying attention to, no, you just basically got off focus. Because had I stayed in focus, then that would have never bothered me. Why? Because my focus would have been mainly on what God has assigned me to do, as far as to pour into the wisdom, knowledge of people. That's it. Because when you feed off of that, it's something about when you do what God has assigned you to do. Because I was just telling my wife this morning, like, I ain't got no assignment. Yes, you do. I mean, even when I said that out of my mouth, I didn't even believe that. And I took the physical aspect of her assignment and compared it to what my assignment was. I don't need something physical in order for me to be validated as what my assignment is. Her assignment is her assignment. My assignment is my assignment, but we both come together as one, to where as God get the glory out of both assignments. Nobody should be separate from each other or separate from each other, even when it comes to an assignment. I'm talking about husband and wife. It should be intertwined with each other. That's the benefit when God puts you together with someone who God chooses. Your assignment is going to be intertwined with each other. So by me getting off focus, I had to see, well, okay, Vito, it's something that you're doing wrong, and it's not what you think it is. Even when I said, I went back to I said, well, I'm open to go out further. Even by me doing that, that's not going to make a door opened up for me to have any runs. But I thought it did. Because I was thinking immediately she going to give me something. Next thing you know, she's like, I don't have nothing. Okay, so that wasn't it. Me doing that, I put myself out there, that wasn't even it. And I was looking for the answer, and the answer was sitting there all along nothing. Because you got off focus from what I have called you to do, what I have assigned you to do. Well, okay, well, what is that? Get back in front of that camera. Is speaking to the lives of the people that I have purposed you to speak into the lives of the people. That is your main assignment right there. Because when I speak, I'm just being honest with you. When I speak, my wife, she said, when you are in that element and when you're sharing with people and you're pouring into people, there's a different light on you, you know. And there's a different feeling that comes upon you that it's like you're very passionate about what you're saying because you want people to hear the truth and you want them to be successful. And it is amazing. It has nothing to do with me having a product or designing a product. That's not my forte. That's her forte. That's her anointing. That's her calling. That's her assignment. So I'm back on focus. Yay! I'm back on focus. I'm back to terrorize y'all. I'm back to come into your living room. I'm coming to comedians on again. Slap y'all, flip it, and I'm gonna rub it down. Not the way you just think. See there, it's just gonna slap the flip and rub it down in the spiritual way. Alright? But yeah, I'm back.
So like, comment, and subscribe.
Yep.
Love you guys, and also don't forget theprocesslife.com. This is your process. Embrace it, love it, trust it.
Be you.
And keep it moving.
All right, there we go.
Bye.
Peace out.